All right, Diamond Domain. I am so excited for this call tonight. We have Katie Trent with us. She is an Emerald Ambassador. She reached the rank of Emerald Ambassador while working full time. She also keeps very busy with her hottie hubby and her two cute little step kids. And she is, you guys, she's amazing on social media. She has such a way with words. She is incredible. And I cannot wait to hear from her, me, myself, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear from her. So with that, Katie, I'm going to let you take it away.
Thank you, Jacqueline. You're super sweet. I'm super excited to be here. Like Jacqueline said, I'm Katie Trent, and I am an Emerald Ambassador, and I am in Austin, Texas. So if there's any Texans on here, come visit me, come see me, we'll come hang out. But I'm super, super excited to kind of just share. When Jacqueline asked me to share, a million thoughts went through my brain, and I was kind of like, what angle do I go from? What do I give them? And so I've prepared a couple of things that I hope is helpful to you tonight. And I guess I'll just kind of explain who I am. I am a social worker by degree. So that's what I went to school for. I actually started out in nursing school, and to my dad's chagrin, he is a doctor. He is actually a GI doctor. So if y'all know what that is, just your gut, your colon, all things that we talk about a lot in our business. And so I was in my last semester of nursing school, and I switched to social work. And so my dad was quite unhappy, thinking I was going to be a nurse and work with him in his office for the rest of his life. When I made that decision. But I made that decision because as much as I loved nursing and as much as I loved helping people medically, I really loved the chit chat, right? I love to get to know people. I love to hear their stories. I love to kind of walk with them through their journey. And social work really provided more of that outlet for me. I really got to sit down with people, hear what's going on in their lives, and be that friend to them and really kind of support them where they were, and be that listening ear. And so if you've been in Plexus for any amount of time, you can see how that translates over into Plexus, right? We do a lot of listening, and we do a lot of support and a lot of encouragement and help, and we're that friend to those that need help. And so it's actually not surprising that I ended up in Plexus, but it totally took me by surprise. Like Jacqueline said, I have a very hot husband. I love him so much. And he has two amazing kids. So Rex and Hallie are 10 and 8. And I came into their lives when, Hallie was 18 months and Rex was about 3. So I've been around for a long, long time. And once we got married, I was 25 and I was young, and it wasn't just figuring out newlywed life. It was figuring out newlywed life plus instant mom life, and plus budgeting, plus everything. I mean, it was kind of like, that phrase, I don't want to adult today, or, I've adulted too much. I ran straight into adulting. I mean, it was, I went in as fast as you could possibly go. And it was kind of, honestly overwhelmed. I have lived abroad a lot of my life, and I've had lots of amazing experiences. I've traveled. My dad provided a wonderful, comfortable upbringing. And so all of a sudden, I'm kind of slapped with this reality that, life isn't going to be as easy as it was as I had it growing up. And we're going to have to kind of figure out our own way about life. And, I was totally fine with that. It didn't matter. I was in love with my husband. I was in love with Rex and Hallie. And we were going to make life the best that it could be. So that's kind of where Plexus found me, was in this crossroads of newly married. We got married July 25th and went on our honeymoon. And I actually met my sponsor on our honeymoon. So let that be a little lesson. It doesn't matter where you are, who you're talking to, you have the potential to add people to your team no matter what you're doing. So I met my sponsor on our honeymoon. We connected and kind of shared our journeys, and I heard all about Plexus, and I didn't want to have anything to do with it. I didn't care about Plexus. It sounded like, no, not knocking Mary Kay, but it sounded like Mary Kay, right? It made me think of parties. It made me think of those awkward meetings I've gone to, which I think most girls have at some point in their life. And I didn't want to have anything to do with that. So when I got back home to Texas, my sponsor and I had become friends on Facebook. And I had seen her post, and she had all this energy and she felt great. Well, here I was sitting, brand new newlywed, 25 years old, and I felt miserable. I was tired. I was exhausted. I frequently referred to myself as a zombie. I basically just got through my days. I didn't really live my days, right? I woke up exhausted, went to work exhausted, had an hour and a half commute each way. So it's 3 hours in the car each way. And you know how being in the car can just drain you. So I'm already drained coming into work. I work hard all day. I worked about 60 hours a week. And then I had to come home that hour and a half stuck in traffic. And by the time I got home, I didn't want to cook dinner. We'd pick up fast food or whatever was easy. And I found myself in this cycle, right, of just feeling miserable. I didn't recognize myself. I did not understand. I used to be a star athlete. I used to run all the time. I used to care what I ate. And here I was, eating food that I knew wasn't good for me, but I was too exhausted to care. And I was looking at my life saying, this is it for us. This is the rest of our lives. And the bills started to pile up. And so not only am I feeling awful, not only am I making bad choices for my health, I'm looking at my life and our finances and realizing, we're at that intersection where if something doesn't give, if something doesn't change, we're going to have a really, really miserable life. And that's, like I said, when Plexus started to make more of an impact on me. I started noticing those posts. And so once I saw what, my sponsor was sharing, I still had that skepticism of, is this, a bad diet? Is this dangerous for you? And I decided to do a little bit of research work myself, and I sent my dad, the GI doctor, the Plexus labels of the triplex. I didn't, tell him what it was. I just said, can you read these labels for me? Can you read the ingredients and tell me what you think about them? And let me know, kind of your first reactions. And so he looked at them and called me and he said, what is this that you're sending me? And I said, no. I'll tell you after you tell me what you think about it. And he said, well, it looks awesome. I haven't seen anything quite like this. Tell me more about what it is and where you found it. So I explained what Plexus was, and he was floored. He thought it was a great idea for me to take it, to use it. And so kind of with his, green light, you want to say, I ordered my first order of products. And so that's where Plexus started for me. I needed the products more than I ever knew, but I needed the business more than I could ever fathom. We were looking at those bills piling up. And I had been praying, and basically I was willing to take a second job. And I already worked 60 hours. I was working crazy amounts of time. And I was looking at the reality of the fact that I was going to have to take a second job that would either be at nighttime after my full day of work or on the weekends. But making that decision meant that I was willing and choosing to give up time with our said kids. And it broke my heart. Like, I don't know how else to put that other than I was willing to give up on memories and time with them and cuddles and hearing about their day and, working on their ABCs or whatever it was. They were so young. I was willing to give up that time with them because I wanted, one, my husband to be able to spend time with them, and two, we needed the income. And so I kind of mockingly prayed to God and just said, you know what, God, I kind of need another job. I know you know that. And I'm going to need it to be at night or on the weekends. And you know what? It'd be really cool if I could do it at home and if I didn't have to put many hours into it and it paid really well. I just kind of flippantly said that, thinking nothing like that exists. That's like a dream world. That's a fantasy. That doesn't happen. And here I had just ordered my Plexus products and had no idea the blessing that was coming to me through those products. So I will forever say that I believe that God absolutely ordained my steps into Plexus and has continuously done so in this business. And so my products are on the way, right? And I've been praying, looking for jobs. I was looking to do like wedding coordinating. I was doing flowers on the weekends, anything that I could find that would be weekend work that can make a significant dent in our finances. And that's when, and y'all actually get to hear a little bit of my story that I don't share with many people. So y'all get a little bit more insight into my life. But blended family life is hard. I don't know if we have any blended families on here. but it's hard and it's unique and no one's perfect at it and no one's good at it right off the start especially. And it can take years and years and years before things are ever smooth, and sometimes it doesn't ever work out to be smooth. And for us at that time in our lives, things were very contentious. There was lots of fighting, lots of arguing, if it was between my husband and his ex, or if it was me and my husband because we were fighting about what was going on with the ex. And, it was just, there's a lot of disrest. Like we were so, I was so focused on all of the stuff going on, and life was just really hard at that time. And I remember we were picking up the kids from his ex, and I remember my husband had a beater of a car. We ended up being a one-car family at one point in our journey, and I'll share a little bit more about that in a little bit. But we were a one-car family, and my husband had this beater car. And we did not know if it would work. We didn't know half the time if it was going to start when he got in it. And I remember going with him one day to pick up the kids because we were headed to go do something. And his ex pulled up in a brand new Escalade, right? And I just remember seeing her and seeing the brand new Escalade and thinking to myself, I will never, ever, ever again feel the way I feel right now. I will never, ever again let something control my finances and control my future. And as much as she wasn't the one necessarily controlling it, it wasn't like this, big bad wolf type thing. For me, I had this feeling of just, I'm done. I'm done living like this. We can do better. We can do more. I'm not going to have my husband sit here in a beater car and not know if it's ever going to start. I'm done feeling this way. And I'm sure people have talked to you about your why. I mean, you're going to hear it. And if you haven't tuned into why your why is important, I hope you do a little bit tonight. But your why is important to motivate and drive you, but it has to be about you. And as much as, yes, I would love to retire my husband, as much as, yes, I would love to take my kids on vacations, and as much as, yes, I would love to have a nice house or even have that Lexus, what it really was about for me was I'm never going to feel this way again. I'm never going to let outside circumstances dictate my future, right? And that was a very personal and a very emotional feeling. I was tied to that. I was driven by that. I knew I wanted to drive that Lexus because that meant that no longer, were we going to have to be reliant on that beater car. And so I encourage you, if you're still kind of thinking about your why, take a step back and find something that you want a little bit more control over. And that's what I'm hoping to share with y'all tonight is how control, the idea of control, can both help and hinder your business, and why control right now is probably hindering your business, and what we can do to change that and make it help your business. So that's the first thing, is find a why that you feel like you need a little bit more control over. Is it that vacation you've always wanted to take and you're never going to be able to because of your situation? Are you going to let, all those pictures of friends taking vacations and other situations where dictate kind of your life? Are you going to sit back and kind of let life happen to you? Or are you going to take control of your life and start tackling those goals and those like experiences that you want to have? Is it a certain amount of your debt that you have? Are you sick of letting debt control your life? Does it control your decisions? I had a girl tell me today that she went out to dinner with some friends, and it was this girl's birthday, and she wanted to pay for her friend's dinner, and she didn't have the money for it. And she said, Katie, it was only $30, but I didn't have the money to do that. And I hated that feeling. I never want to feel that way, that I cannot bless my friends because I have let my life circumstances control my life. And I said, perfect. Let's do Plexus. And so we'll talk about her too in a little bit, more about her story. So find an element in your life that you want to have more control over. That will motivate you so much more than just saying, oh, I would like for this to happen, or I would like for that, or I'm shooting for the Lexus, or I'm shooting for senior gold, or I'm shooting for Ruby. Why are you shooting for that? What does that promotion mean that you get a little bit more control over in your life? Really kind of peel that back. So I'm going to go over some things about why control currently could be hindering your business. It's one of the biggest reasons why I see people fail right and left. I've been doing this business for about 2.5 years. And what I didn't say earlier was that I made that decision that I was never going to let someone else control my life and my finances. And that drove me to promote all the way from silver to senior ruby in 6 months. I promoted every single month back to back. And it drove me like crazy. I was adding people. There was nothing that could stop me because I had that goal in my mind. So big goals require big action, right? But you've got to have that element that you want to take control over in your life. So this is what I see why people don't see quick success, because they have some elements of control that they're letting hold them back. And so one of those is not being coachable. And basically what that looks like is you don't follow the system. Plexus is very, very simple. It's almost stupidly simple. It's not rocket science. It's not hard. That's not why, well, let me take that back. It is hard, but it's why you see so many people from different levels, different backgrounds, different educations, different experiences can be successful in this business, because it's a system. And people that are not coachable will not follow the system. What are some examples of our systems, right? Posting consistently, right? Quality posts every single day. Say something crazy comes up, your kid hurts their arm, you've got to take them to the doctor, so your day's you're focused on your child, right? And so you have the option there of letting that totally derail you for the next week and not post anything ever again. Or you have the opportunity to realize you've had something crazy come up in your life, pay attention to your child, support them, love on them, get them the help they need, and then get back on that horse the next day. Right? Maybe it's a part of your business. Maybe you've reached out to somebody and they didn't sign up with you, but the next thing you know, you see them sharing about another company, or maybe you see them sign up with somebody else doing Plexus. You can let that derail you, right? For a whole week. You can let that derail you for a long time before you start posting again. Choosing to not post consistently is not being coachable. Another thing that we have in our system are three-way calls. Three-way calls are things that I didn't want to do for the longest time, but are wildly important. They're hugely successful, and they're important that you do them consistently and that they're routine, that you're engaging with your upline, you're letting that third-party validation happen, because that's where the magic happens. And the reason I see people over and over and over again not being coachable and not doing what we tell them to do is because of that element of control that says they're almost arrogant enough to think that they don't need to follow the system, that they think that they can do it better, or that they just don't need to follow what we've done. And it's just not true. The system is simple and the system works. That's why Jacqueline is where she is, y'all. That's why she's done the work. She's put in the work time and time again. She's not reinvented the wheel. She's done it the right way. And so when she tells y'all something to do, I encourage y'all, don't balk at it. Don't come up with excuses for not doing it. If you get that feeling in your stomach that makes you go, ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. That's not me. That makes me uncomfortable. Part of being successful in this business is getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. And that gives you more control in your business. Another reason that people don't see success is because of the element that they thought that this was going to be easy, right? They thought that they were going to come into this. They've seen their friend be successful. They're going to do it too. It's pretty easy to do. So they feel like they're in control. They know the future. They know the outcome. They're going to be successful. This is going to happen for them. And then they realize it's just like any other worthwhile endeavor that we take on, whether it's motherhood or marriage or a job. Anything you do that matters in life takes time and effort and consistency, and it can be hard. So it's why it's called network marketing, not net slacker marketing. It takes work and effort. And so what's really happening here is someone is saying, I thought this was going to be easy, and they're confusing the word simple for easy. They do not equal each other out. Plexus is simple. Being successful is simple. It's not easy. It takes time and effort and consistency in doing that. So don't let yourself get wrapped up in thinking that, I can't do this if you haven't seen success in your first month or your second month or whatever part you're at. Start looking at what elements of control you're allowing control your business. Do you sit there and consistently use your upline to support in those three-way calls and three-way messages? Do you consistently post? Do you consistently reach out? That's a huge part of it. The other part that you want to see people using control in that can be, so those are the negatives. Those are ways that, control can adversely impact your business. And I'll let you know ways that control can actually help your business. Our world is out of control. I know y'all have seen the news as of this past week. Stuff is crazy, y'all. The world is out of control. And just like kids, we love to give them boundaries, right? Because they need them. They may want to stay up till midnight and they're 5, but we know that's not good for them. And so we're not going to let them. They need us to put those parameters in their life. And what people are craving these days, people want to be in control of their lives. They want control of their health. They want control of their finances. They want control of their future. And they want control of their happiness. And that's what you should emulate to your audience. That's kind of the branding that I work behind. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I'm flawed. I definitely share lots of stories of things that I don't do right. But I like to show there that I'm in control of my health, right? I'm taking my Plexus products. I'm feeling better. I'm seeing results because I'm consistent with my products. I work out. I make time for myself to take care of myself. I'm in control of that aspect of my life. And the reason I am is because of Plexus, right? I share about things that we do with our family. I share about the blessings that we have from the finances. I am able to share through stories and pictures and videos and experiences that I am in control of our family's finances, that we are not having to worry about that unexpected bill. We're not having to worry about taking the kids to Disney World one day. We're not going to have to worry for, college funds or going out to dinner or whatever it is that we have financially come up in our lives. We are in control. And we share that through what we do. And that's because of Plexus, solely because of Plexus. That's our, main income. The third thing I mentioned was my future. People want to be in control of their future, and they want to know that there's more to life than just the grind. They have to think that there's more, because I've done that life. I've worked the crazy corporate job, and I knew that I couldn't keep up with that. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to travel. I wanted to have deep relationships. I wanted to be able to go get coffee with a friend on a Wednesday morning because I could. And I wanted to be able to make those decisions because I was in control of my life. And that's what Plexus has afforded me. And I've shared that. Being able to say, hey, I'm 28, I'm retired from corporate America, is showing people I am in control of my future and our finances in that way. And that's because of Plexus. And the last thing is happiness. We call ourselves the health and happiness company for a reason. Y'all know the science behind things. Obviously, the serotonin levels in your gut are huge, and that definitely impacts your actual happiness. But the community I found through Plexus, the friendships I have, these are like ride or die friendships. These are people that know things about my life that I haven't even told, family members. These are people that I do life with, and I'm happy to do life with, and I'm encouraged on a daily basis, and I'm challenged, and I grow, and I get to travel and see them and take trips and, have these amazing experiences. And that's happiness for me. That's what I want my life to look like. And so I show that I'm in control of that aspect of my life. And y'all, that's what people want. That's what Plexus offers them. That's what you can show them. So start taking that opportunity to show people how you're in control of those different aspects. You don't have to have my testimony, have your testimony. If it's just that, you wanted to be able to pay for your electricity bill, say you're brand new to Plexus and you're like, look, I just want to make, a few $100s in the beginning so that I can pay my bills. That is a great goal, so once you hit that goal and you're able to pay off that bill, share that. Share how Plexus has helped you to be ahead of the game, right? You're not having to scrounge in your savings to pay for that bill. You have the money. In fact, you have extra to cover that, or whatever it is. Look for ways to show people that they can take control back in their lives, and they don't just have to let life hit them. They can hit life back and actually make decisions that will better them for forever. That's a huge element in why people are successful in Plexus. They're able to share that with others. So that's a huge thing about letting control impact how you post. Jacqueline mentioned that I'm kind of known for my posts, and for the longest time I couldn't understand why, because I was just sharing my life. I didn't know how I was any different than anybody else, but I realized that my vulnerability in sharing those things and that being open and authentic and putting myself out there over and over again paid off. It helped people to see me as much more than just Katie Trent on Facebook. They saw how Katie Trent is in real life, what her marriage looks like, what her family life looks like, what her dreams and goals are, what her failures are, but how she's working to do better, what that looks like in her life. People are able to see who I am and what my heart is all about and what my passion is because I'm vulnerable. And that gives that element of control. Again, I'm able to share through vulnerability kind of the ways Plexus is helping me control some of those crazy things that happen in life. So that's another part of control. So another thing that I want to challenge y'all with for controlling your business is leading with the business. You want to grow, right? You want to go to the next rank. You're going to have business builders. That's part of the beauty of this business. You can't do it all by yourself, and you're going to need that help. And so how do you find business builders? Well, you find what you ask for, okay? And so you need to start leading with the business. Let me give you an example. Say you message someone and you lead with the products, right? Hey girl, been thinking about you. I think you'd love these products. Have you ever tried Plexus? And they respond with, no thanks, I'm not really interested. Well, what's your next option there? Well, I'd love to send you some info. Oh no, I've already looked at it. I'm really not interested. I don't believe in supplements. Those crazies that say that. They don't have any interest. So what are you ever going to do to come back to that person to say, hey, would you ever be interested in selling those supplements that you don't care about, that you don't believe in? You've totally shot yourself in the foot. You've lost any opportunity to ever work with that person about business unless they have a total random change of heart and they all of a sudden become Plexus fanatics and they just really want to do it, right? So you've totally lost that opportunity. So if you went in with the business instead and said, hey girl, I am so excited about Plexus. The testimonies I've seen are mind-blowing to me. I'm excited to get my business up and going. I cannot wait to hit my first rank of silver. And I'm not sure if this would be a good fit for you, but I think it's really worth looking into. Okay? What does that person have? What options do they have next? They can say, I'm really not interested in the business. I really don't want to do network marketing or whatever that is. And they may have plenty of objections business-wise. And we can go over some of those too later on how to overcome those objections. But say for the sake of argument in this story, they aren't interested in the business. So then the next thing you can say to them, you still have a couple options here, is say, it's totally fine. The business isn't for everybody. But are you working on any health goals right now? Awesome. So now we've opened the door to talk about their health. What are they doing? What are they not doing? And maybe they say, I eat good, I eat clean, I go to the gym. I feel pretty on top of things. So that you're kind of getting that indicator. They're not interested in buying your products. Again, you still have another option. You can say to them, you know what, that's totally fine. Plexus really isn't for everybody. But I bet you know people that could really benefit from Plexus. Do you ever have any friends that are super tired or have migraines? Right? So now we're asking for referral sources. This person does not have to join Plexus. They don't ever have to order from you. But guess what? They probably know plenty of people that could benefit. So asking for those referrals is a huge way to end that conversation. And if they say, I can't really think of anyone off the top of my head, you have another option then to say, that's totally fine. Hey, what's your email? I'll shoot you over kind of what Plexus is all about. And, maybe I'll trigger some names for you to help you remember. I'd really appreciate it. I'm really looking to help some people get on track with their health, right? And so then you get their email contact and you can go from there and you can share information with them. So you've opened the door to 3 to 4 different ways to communicate with that person about Plexus by leading with that business. The other way this could have gone is you could have said, hey girl, super excited about Plexus. I just joined. I cannot wait to get my kid in. I've seen so many testimonies. I'm going for silver. I cannot wait to achieve that. I'm having 3 people join my team. I'm not sure if this is the right fit for you, but I really think you should look into it, right? And then I say, you know what? I've been thinking about doing something on the side. Can you tell me more? Right? So then the next thing you said, you know what, girl, I'd love to. What's time to chat on the phone? So much easier to answer questions over the phone. And I'm going to have the girl get on the phone that I signed up with because she knows way more than I do. So easy. Now we've got that 3-way call going on, right? It's a perfect way to get your newbie started sharing about Plexus. It's so simple. And then that person's going to get great information. So you are being in control of your business by leading with the business. The next part about using that to guide your business is guiding them through their decision. Y'all need to be the experts, okay? That's what people look to you for when you come to them about Plexus. They want to know that you are going to help guide them in the right direction. So instead of letting them make all the decisions, right, where we say, okay, well just, message me if you have any questions or let me know later if you have any questions. That's not going to benefit you. If you control the conversation and you guide her through that decision-making process, you'll actually get much further. Saying something along the lines of, I think you'd be a great fit for this. Do you agree? And that used to freak me out, y'all. That's so direct. That's like, oh my gosh, what are they going to say? That's how I used to feel. Oh my gosh, what is going to happen if I ask that question? But you know what? All you're doing is opening the door for more dialogue. And that's what we're supposed to be doing, is talking and sharing. And so kind of leading them, guiding them, saying, I'll send you some info, but I'm sure you're going to have questions. So let's set up a time to chat on Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Does that work for you? Right? We're not just going to send them info and then hope they call us back or hope they message us with questions, because I would never do that. I would just like read it, or I'd forget to read it. I wouldn't take it seriously. But if you have that appointment set up, that time set up to talk again, it kind of puts a little pressure on them, right? To actually follow through. And that's what you're wanting, is follow through. So don't be afraid to step up and take control of your reaching out in your conversations. Another thing that I use when I talk to people is asking them, from a scale of 1 to 10, and 10 being, Katie, let's do this, I'm so excited, to 1 being like, I'm about to run away and never talk to you again. What are you feeling right now? Tell me how you're feeling. And kind of let them give you their answer. If they're a 5, they're a 6, 7, whatever it is, if they're not a 10, that's easy then to direct them again, guide them through that conversation and say, I'm sensing some hesitancy. Kind of tell me what that's all about. What are you thinking? And then they give you their objections. Well, I just don't think that I would be good at this, or I'm not a salesperson, or blah, 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 blah. And then you guide them again. You answer those questions. You support them. You show them why they would be good at this. And y'all, these conversations have to happen on the phone. I don't know how much more clear I can be about that. It will transform your business. It will transform who you are as a leader. It will show you what you know and what you don't know, and it will help you to grow, and it will give them perfect, wonderful customer service, because that's what we need to offer. Everybody sells stuff on Plexus or on Facebook these days. You want to be different. You want to be that person that they can go to, that know they get the answers and that get support from. So do it on the phone. I know the phone seems scary. I literally saw a meme earlier today that I laughed out loud, because it was a girl looking at her phone and it said, I'm waiting for the phone to stop ringing so I can text them and ask them what they wanted, right? That's like what we do these days. We do not answer our phones. We want to text people, or I want to Facebook message them, because that's so much more comfortable. You have to get on the phone. They need to hear your voice. They need to hear your excitement and your passion and your love for Plexus and your love for them and for them wanting to do that. When you go into those conversations feeling that way, you will be so much more in control of your business and the direction that it starts heading than if you just kind of flail out there and hope that people are going to be interested in the products. I'd even go so far as to say, as when you share your story with someone about Plexus, is don't add your product story in there just yet. Start with the business. Tell what it's done for you. Find something that has benefited you. And if you look at your business and it's not benefiting you just yet, it shows you've got some work to do, right? You can do well in this business if you lead with the business. That's where you're going to find your go-getters. That's where you're going to find your people that are interested. Another way to control the conversation and be direct is when they give you the objection that they don't have money. I'll use an example of me today. So typically in the past, when I message people and I would ask them and we would talk, and they say, oh yeah, this sounds great, but I can't afford it. I don't have the money right now. I would instantly say, well, our team's offering a special, or, let's look at your next paycheck schedule, maybe we can save up for it, or really it's just $3.50, a day, we can make this work. And I kind of go into all these different opportunities for ways that we could come up with the money real fast. Instead, what if you said to them, do you have a credit card that we could put it on? That makes me uncomfortable. Like, I'm like asking them if we can charge it to their credit card. That is very direct, Katie, right? But why am I asking that? Because that's how much I believe that I will help them to make a return on their investment in their first month. Pretty compelling. It also means if they're putting on a credit card, they're pretty dang motivated to make that investment back, right? They want to pay that credit card off. So if we can go to them and say, hey, do you have a credit card we can put it on? We have a silver bonus that you can achieve in your first month that can make back your money for your initial investment. I'll work with you to make it happen. That's direct, but it works. I did it today. There's a girl told me, I'm a waitress. I don't have any extra money. I'm going to school to be a teacher. I literally have no extra money. And I said, well, do you have a credit card we could put it on? And she said, you're right, I do. And I said, perfect. this month our company is doing a double bonus for silver. I can get you $275 if you'll work with me and you'll jump all in with me. She said, okay, let's do this. Right? Before, I would have ran the other direction and said, okay, well, that's fine. I could offer you $10 off, or, this, she paid full price. I didn't cheapen Plexus. I supported her where she's at, and I got her pretty motivated, right? She's already made her first post. She's very excited. She's made her Franks list. We're running out the door tomorrow. I can barely keep up with her because she's so excited. She is motivated. She's ready to go. So don't be scared of being in control of your business. Don't sabotage yourself by making up a story in your head that says asking questions, being helpful is being pushy. It's just not true. It's professional. It's guiding the person to that next decision. And just in case you are wondering, you're like, I don't know how to do this, Katie. I've never done it. Practice makes perfect. Work on it with your sponsor, work on it with a friend, kind of role play, have those conversations, but get some practice in. You can do it. You can be confident, and you can be professional, and you can be so proud of Plexus and believe so much that they need Plexus in their lives, that it's willing to put it on it's worth putting it on a credit card, and that you are there and you're so willing to help them be successful, and you know that they will be successful, that it should be a done deal in their mind, right? That's professional. That's passionate. That's being in control of your business. And that's finding business builders, which is going to take you to the next level. I'm trying to think. I wrote down a bunch of notes tonight. So this is, like I shared some examples earlier of leading with a business for a newbie, someone that's never gotten their products in. Easy to do. They don't have to have a testimony just yet. They can just be excited. They've seen the testimonies. They know it's going to work. They already have a goal in mind. They're so excited. You should look into it, right? Super easy to do. If you've been around for a while, you're just now kind of restarting to revamp your business and go into it. Looking at it saying, I've spent the past few months kind of watching my team build, and I've just seen incredible success stories, and I could not sit back and let this opportunity pass me by any longer. I'm so excited. This is the goal I'm shooting for, right? If you've been doing this for a long, long time and you've been successful, you keep sharing that story. Look, I joined Plexus because I needed a change. I've been successful. This is where I'm at. I'm not sure if this is a good fit for you, but look, it's worth looking into. Do you have some time to chat about it? It doesn't matter where you're at. You can talk about your business. People tell me all the time, well, I can only sell products, but that's not true. It's a lie that you tell yourself. You can talk about the business and you can be successful before you even get your products in. So taking that control of your business in your future is going to help you move through the ranks much faster, find those business builders that are ready to run with you, and you're not going to just have to constantly try to hope to rank and then not go backwards. You're not going to want to have to climb the re-rank machine over and over again. You want to find good, solid growth and people that are on the same page as you. Another aspect of being in control, and this was a hard lesson for me, and it's something that has always stuck with me. I read a book a long time ago, and it said that leaders forfeit the right to have emotions. And that has always stuck with me because this business can be so emotional, y'all. It can kill you. You can feel like it's never going to work. You can find the negatives. You can look at the wrong side of things. You can give up. You can see the girl that joined yesterday and went fast start gold, in 2 seconds, and somehow you aren't. So obviously you're going to be a failure or whatever it is. Or maybe you've sat at the same rank for 18 months or 6 months or whatever it is. And you just feel like, I can't do this. And those negative thoughts and those emotions control you. But as a leader in this company, as someone that is in control of their life and is making choices to take back more and more control of their future, you cannot let those emotions dictate you. I promise you, they will derail everything that you work for. And so that's probably been one of the hardest lessons for me, is realizing I do not have that, carte blanche to just be emotional. My team needs more from me. My team needs to see a leader that's in action. If you're saying, Katie, I don't have a team, or I used to have a team and they all fell off, lead yourself, right? Show up for yourself. Show up for that why. Find that control, that thing that you need to take a little bit more control back of, and start working towards that. Don't let those emotions take control of your life. Another way this is going to impact you with your emotions is not being attached to the outcome. And this will also be huge for you. When you reach out to someone to share with them about the business opportunity and they're not interested, They even go so far as to say they're not interested in the products, and they go so far as to say they have no referrals, right? They're a no, no, no for you. Really, in your brain, that means no, not right now. I've had, I don't even know how many people tell me no that are now on my team, and some of them are my biggest rock stars. So don't ever take no as a final answer. But realize that if you go in and ask these questions and you present the opportunity to them, you need to be okay with them not wanting to do what you do. You need to be okay with that. You need to not be attached to the outcome of that conversation. Because if you are, it's going to hit you 10 times harder when they say no. If you go into it saying, I have to have this person to, get that bonus, or I have to have this person to hit this rank, or I have to have this person because, I haven't signed anybody in 3 months and I have to have somebody to show myself that I'm successful. You're going to be so much more upset when they do not see your vision and they do not want to join you. Y'all, there's so many people in the world. So many people. You're never going to run out of people to talk to about Plexus. It's okay if they don't join your vision right then. Your job is to keep going on, to let them know that it's okay that, they weren't interested. That's totally fine. Their friendship, your relationship with them comes first anyways. And so if you can kind of let them off the hook with that, it leaves a great taste in their mouth. They don't feel like you're pushy. They don't feel a bad taste about Plexus, and they're going to continue to watch your journey. And you're going to keep going, and you're going to keep going. You're going to find that person that does see the vision. They do want to do it with you, and they do want to join your business. And your business continues to grow, and they see that from the outside, and it'll be the most compelling story to them to watch you continue to move forward, whether or not they join you. My brother-in-law has still blocked me to this day on Facebook. Let's be real. I could have let that totally derail me. I could have let that, oh my gosh, what do people think about me? Oh my goodness. I can't do this anymore, Katie. I cannot do this anymore. People are blocking you. They're not interested. No one's ever going to be interested. Do you see how that snowballed so quickly? It went from one singular situation to everybody's not interested in Plexus. Like that. I mean, how many times have you told yourself, you're like, when is this going to happen? So just know that learning to control your emotions, learning to go into it, servant-hearted first. You're really coming to share with people about Plexus because you believe the opportunity is so great for them that you couldn't not share with them, whether that's financial or if it's health. And I believe that to the core of my being because I have seen it change my life and I've seen it change others' lives. And when I first started Plexus, I didn't know that it would actually change my life. I didn't know that it would happen for me. All I knew was I couldn't sit around and let life take control over me. So guess what I was going to try? I was going to do my best. And that's when, my passion really shines through because I am living my life. I'm in more of control of my life, making those choices. So that's kind of some tips and tricks that I've learned about control, how you can share that with your team, how you can grow your team strongly. One last thing I want to say is convenience orders. If you need to look at your convenience orders percentage, if you don't know how to do that, just pull your report and look at everybody that has a convenience order on and figure out the percentage behind it. And whatever your percentage is, if it's not 100, you're not in control of training your team. I'm just going to be flat out there and say it. Because what needs to happen is every person needs to be signing people up over the phone. We talked a little bit earlier about, good customer service. And when you sign someone on over the phone, you're going to walk them through the convenience order section. You're going to share with them why it's important. You're going to reiterate with them again how we expect them to stay on their products for at least 60 days. That's like minimum. We're looking for 90 to 120 for like a good effort here. And if someone gives you any trouble and if someone says to you, they're just not sure, they're really struggling with the idea of having to set that convenience order on, that should be your first indication that they shouldn't be an ambassador. It is not worth it to sign them up and have them not set a convenience order up. We know that 80% of people that don't put them on will never order again. And that is not being in control of your business. That's not in control of your training, and that's not in control of good customer service. So just start implementing that now. Start looking through your team leads. Start helping them understand what it takes to walk someone through on the phone. It's so much easier, it's so much smoother, and you'll avoid tons of issues that you have later on down the road. Plus, you'll get to know if they're kind of feeling a little bit uncomfortable, you can be direct again. We talked about that control, right? Be direct. Hey, I'm sensing some hesitancy. What's going on? What are you thinking? Why does that bother you to set up that convenience order? Right? That's opening dialogue. You can walk with them through that and kind of help them see that. And that's another opportunity to open up the business again. Well, I don't know if I want to be locked into orders. Well, we have a way for you to make a return on your investment the first month. We have a way for you to grow a business. there's another door for you. You're always looking for those opportunities. So I encourage y'all, kind of take some time to reflect, look back what's going on in your business, and find different ways that control can be applied to your business to benefit it, and look for the ways that maybe control is impacting your business and hurting it. So thanks y'all so much for having me on.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. I feel like this is one of those that I'm like, okay, you want to be successful? You have to watch Katie's video. It's one of those, it's like on a mandatory list to be watched.
Seriously, thank you.
All of my, yeah, seriously. No, that was like how to be successful. Here you go. Do this and you've got it. Amazing. Okay, so I've got, do you have time for like a question or two if anybody has one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, if anybody has a question, unmute yourself and ask away. Anybody? Mindy, Mila, Candace, Michelle, Stephanie, I'm calling you guys out. Smatanka.
I'll ask a question. Okay, so you mentioned the whole, hey, you've got a credit card to put it on, right? That'd be very hard for me to say, but if I could get myself to say that. So what happens if they, I don't know, do you ever catch, like, you hope to get one like you that said, like, they jump right on it, they're ready to go. What happens if you get someone that's like, oh, yeah, that's true, like, let's do this, and then they kind of play, like, the blame game or something? Like, what do you do in that case?
What blame game are you meaning? Give me a specific.
I just put this on my credit card. Like, if they kind of turn it around in a negative, like, I put this on my credit card, and now I'm not, like, this is not as easy as they thought it was or something. How do you handle those situations?
No, that's a great question. So again, it's guiding them through that process. So you've gotten them to, put it on the credit card. So you kind of take stock for yourself and realize you kind of have some responsibility now, right? You're that leader, and you've got to help them be successful. So your goal is to help them do everything in your power to find success that first month. Obviously, silver and 500 PD would be your two goals that you're shooting for, right? And the way you do that is obviously working with them consistently. But if they are not willing to share, if they're not willing to post, if they're not, that goes back to that being coachable thing, right? And then you can start doing the direct questions. I'm sensing some hesitancy here. You're not making that list, or you're not making your posts. Tell me a little bit more about that. What are you feeling? And they're like, oh, I'm scared I'm going to, run my friends off. Okay, so tell me why you care, like what they think. Like tell me a little bit more about like why that's going to, impact your future, what they think. And that's a direct question, but that gets to the nitty gritty. You got to start, you can't let them control the situation. You're the leader. You're the one that's going to show them how to be successful, and they need to trust you. And maybe they say like, this isn't happening like I thought it was. It's not as easy as I thought it was. And you can go back and say, I think you're confusing simple with easy. It's very, very simple. You need to do these 3 things. It needs to be consistent. What do you have 15 minutes we can carve out today to make your friends list together? Right? Start breaking it down for them, but be direct, be proud of what the business is. This is a hard business. For us to make it to silver and to gold and to those ranks, like it's an achievement. That's why we celebrate it, because it's a big deal, and it's okay to be proud of what you do and proud of the work you put into it. But give them that support. Don't let them control their outcome by letting them be wishy-washy and not show up for things. Call them out on it. Say, hey, we had a call. I missed you. What's going on? I'd love to see you, jumping in. We have so many days left in the month to get you to silver. Does that kind of make sense? Like how to redirect it back to where you're in control of that conversation and their success.
No, that's awesome. And I love that you're confusing simple with easy. That's like perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, sure.
Anybody else? No, everybody has like crazy notes to pour over now. Like seriously. That was so good. I'm going to stop the recording right now.